sit down, we'll get the show started, because I'd like to say hello and welcome to a brand new series of The Jonathan Ross Show. We have some fabulous guests lined up for you over the next few months. Starting tonight, I'm very excited about our lineup. Would you like to see who's in the green room this evening? We will start off with one of Hollywood's biggest action movie stars. I'm delighted to be able to welcome back to the show this evening. It is the one and only Mr. Vin Diesel, ladies and gentlemen. Hey, Vin, how you doing?
Very good, very good.
Looking handsome. Also here, and how fantastic is this, ladies and gentlemen, the Olympic and World Heptathlon champion, Jessica Ennis-Hill. Great to see you, Jessica. Thank you so much for being here. And there's more. My next guest, in my opinion, has one of the finest voices Britain has ever produced. It's the legendary, the one and only, there will never be another, Sir Tom Jones. That's good news. He spun round. That means he sees promise in me.
No, I wouldn't count on it.
Tom Jones, and he'll be chatting and he'll be singing for you later on in the show, ladies and gentlemen. Great to see you, Tom. And we're also joined by a couple of homegrown superstars of radio. Now, they're kind of in a minority here because they're two of a small select number of DJs from the 60s and 70s that you can still invite to a respectable party. Mainly because they're fictional. They're made up. From Fab FM, it's Smashy and Nicey. It's great to see you. How are you guys doing?
Pop-a-doodle-doo, gherkins.
Rock-a-doodle-doo, you darling.
I just wanted to say congratulations, Jessica, my darling, on your new heptastic baby.
Have you got any children, Smashy? Let me just
No, I'm actually asexual, Jonathan.
Oh, okay.
My legacy to the world is the wonderful amount of charity work I do that I don't like to talk about.
No, of course not. Nicely, how about you? Do you have any?
No, I don't like children or beetroot.
There's an exclusive. More to come from Smashy and Nicey, ladies and gentlemen. OK. Just before we get to that, in recent weeks, of course, I'm sure you know this, the world of sport has been dominated by the Rugby World Cup. You have any rugby fans in? Now, I'm not really a rugby fan, I'll be honest with you, but even I couldn't help but be impressed by this amazing bit of action. The best moment so far from the rugby this year, I think. Check this out. Go, go. He did that on purpose. He says he just whacked the kid out of the way. That's Boris Johnson in a fun game of rugby in Japan there, taking out a 10-year-old boy. And if anyone was worried, he was OK afterwards. Boris was fine, honestly, he was OK. Of course, the World Cup is still going on, but because this show is pre-recorded, we're doing this the night before it goes out on Saturday, we don't actually know who's going to win the quarter-finals. All right? Now, Tom, I know you're a passionate rugby fan, of course.
Yes.
I know also you are Welsh.
Quite right.
OK. You hesitated for a moment there.
No, I didn't. No.
So we need to edit your reactions to the Wales versus South Africa result into the final show tomorrow. So
Okay.
I need to do every possible thing with you now, if that's OK. So let's start with this. We'll edit this now. So, Tom.
Yes.
So, Tom, congratulations. Wales have won. They have crushed South Africa and marched on to the semi-finals. How do you feel?
Wonderful.
That's good. Tom, I hate to do this, Stu, but now we're going to do the other one.
There won't be another
Well,
one.
let's just do it just in case. Okay? You thought you were doing another series of The Voice, so come on, let's get this. So, Wales, Tom. Tom, I hate to break it to you, but Wales have just lost. The dream is over for another 4 years. How do you feel?
Oh, my God, I can't believe it. I can't believe it. I can't believe it.
I'm going to do one more. I might ask Vin to give you a hand with the acting on this one. All right? So, Tom, the ultimate challenge. Here it is. Tom, no side won. It was a draw.
Well, OK.
He nailed it. All right. OK, let's get my first guest out. He wowed us in the Fast and Furious series. He was fantastic in Triple X, and he was unforgettable as Groot in Guardians of the Galaxy. One of Hollywood's biggest stars. Please go crazy for Vin Diesel.
trying to be cool.
Yeah. Now, I've got to say congratulations, the huge success of the Fast and Furious films. The last
Thank you.
Furious 7, took over $1.5 billion. Makes it the fifth biggest movie of all time. What an incredible feeling that must be.
I mean, it's a great feeling, and to think that I was here at so many of the Fast and Furious releases, and you've been there with me every step of the way.
I've tried to be. I'm still waiting for that invite to be in one of the films.
You've supported me, yes, Jonathan, every step of the way.
Yes, I have, ladies and gentlemen. But no, because I love those films, and sometimes people look down on action films generally. They look down, but if they weren't well made, if they weren't good, they wouldn't be that popular. You know,
that's 100% right.
Yeah, and presumably there'll be more on the way, will there?
Yes, there will be. We're going to New York City next, where it all started. But we were here in London. I remember filming here for over a year.
You like it here? You like it when you're filming here?
I love London. I love London. It's my second favorite city.
What's your seventh favorite city?
Oh, God, Jonathan, you're good.
I don't know. You must have one.
None of you would have thought of that.
Yeah.
Every one of you were thinking, what's your first favorite city?
Hold on, what was that weird voice coming out of your
I don't know.
What's that now? What are you doing now? Is that Welsh accent? What are you doing, Vin?
That's the accent that you taught me so long ago.
Oh, yeah. Now you're getting unveiling the posh.
Now you're going to get the glasses off,
wow,
and you're going to get the real dude
Okay,
here.
okay. Let me talk about the new film, because Vin has a brand new, big, action, supernatural, kind of special effects movie out, The Last Witch Hunter. Okay? It's out on Wednesday all over the UK. There you are, ready to go. We can guess from the title maybe some of what you do in the film, but
yeah,
why this project? What was it about this you wanted to do?
Well, a few things. One is, I, believe it or not, when I was younger, I used to play a game called Dungeons and Dragons. And I actually wrote the foreword for the 30th book anniversary of Adventure, 30 years of adventure. And in that book, I talk about a character that I played, which was a witch hunter. So 6 years ago, or 5 years ago, I had a meeting with the writer Corey Goodman, and we started talking about our geek love affair of Dungeons and Dragons. And next thing you know, I get a script called The Last Witch Hunter. And what was so appealing about it was a character that lived in pre-modern civilization and simultaneously in present-day New York. And it was an 800-year-old immortal. And I gave the studio kind of an impossible task. And that was, if you could get Michael Caine to play the Dolan, then I'll do the movie right now.
He's kind of the guy who looks after the immortal, isn't he? He's the guy who keeps you on the right track.
That's right.
Yeah.
And so the studio got Michael Caine.
Obviously, that was a big part of why you agreed to do it.
Huge part of it.
And to be on stage with one of the legends of cinema, what an experience that must be.
Unbelievable. We've been friends for 13 years, and we've been wanting to do something together. And he first heard that there was a Vin Diesel film that was requesting him. He said, I don't even have a driver's license.
Once again, I suggest you didn't try and do the accent.
Yeah, I should have tried to do it. No, I won't do it.
A Michael Caine accent is harder to do than you think. I don't know if anyone in the green room thinks they can master it.
I could give it a go, great mate,
Okay.
but I've got the smashy gear on. Won't be very convincing.
Well, we don't need to look at you while you're doing it. Let's look elsewhere. Oh, dear. Okay, this is how Michael Caine should be done.
My name is Michael Caine. I haven't finished yet. I said I haven't bladen finished. And these days, I make Batman his tea. Oh, yes. Beans on toast, cheese on toast, fish fingers. Whatever Batman wants, Batman bleeding well gets.
That's how you do it.
Good.
Okay, let's see the real Michael Caine in action with Vin Diesel in The Last Witch Hunter. Here he is.
35 Dolans have come before you. Here's to the only one whose advice I ever listened to.
Only to ignore it.
But I always listen.
What if you were retiring too? I mean, what would you do if your next mission was your last?
But it won't be.
Humor me.
I have no complaints. Every day I wake up, the world sleeps a little easier.
Calder, you have tasted more of life than I can ever imagine. But it's been a long time since you really lived. Find someone to trust.
I trust you.
Perhaps someone a little more comely.
A different kind of trust. That's what he's talking about right there. OK. And we showed that because we wanted to see the scene with Michael, but the film is filled with action. It's great adventure as well. And, of course, we get to see you, 800 years ago, wearing this wig. Look, check this facial hair out. I think it suits you. Look at that. That's a good look. How did your lovely wife react to you with the hair and the beard like that? Did she like that look on you?
Oh, everyone loved that. I'll tell you, my father came to set, and the only time my father ever asked for a picture was when I was in 14th century. He said, you know, I never asked for a picture of him. I gotta just have a picture with you. No one will believe it.
Did he think it was Tom Hanks? Is that what it was? Well, next, I know you just said you're going to do more Fast and Furious.
I am going to do more Fast.
More than one? How many do you have planned and what kind of things?
We have a trilogy planned.
Wow. So that'll make it 10 in total then.
That'll make it 10.
Now, getting serious for a moment,
yeah.
I loved the last film, and the ending I found to be genuinely very moving. Because, of course, you as a family making that film, you suffered a terrible loss. Paul Walker, your co-star in those films, and appeared in the very first one. Tragically, a car accident, dies far too young, along with his friend. A very sad thing. And you hadn't actually finished filming the movie at that stage, had you? No, we didn't. I mean, that's why I wore the glasses, just in case we were going to go into this topic, so that it didn't get too emotional. Yeah, we lost my brother Pablo while we were filming Seven. Made for a very hard time to finish filming that movie. The studio was wonderful and exceptional in allowing us to have such a special tribute for him in the end. It's funny because sometimes I'll post a picture on Facebook or talk about Pablo, and people will say, you know, just move on. But the relationships in that franchise are so strong, and the brotherhood so real, that it transcends the experience of making the movie. And you spend 15 years going from being a nobody to somebody with a brother. And then one day he's gone. And it's a very heavy experience. I know you all suffered loss before. I know you know what I mean. And yet somehow this is different than the other losses that I've had. I grew up in New York City being a bouncer, and you would lose people while you were working. But this was unlike anything we could have imagined. I'm so sorry you lost him, you know. And the way it was handled in the film, I don't know how many people saw it, but it was so sensitive and so nice. And it made me cry at the end of the movie, and made me also realise you could see from that how much he obviously meant to you and everyone else involved in that production. I thought it was just a lovely, very fitting tribute to someone who you obviously adored. You know, I know you had a baby fairly recently, and you named her Pauline after Paul, I believe, didn't you? Yeah, I did. I was... There she... Look, that is a little bundle of happiness, and the baby's not bad either. Look at that. I was in the hospital room. One of the things Paul did, you were doing... Did anyone see the fourth one, Fast and Furious? Yeah, of course. Well, there was a scene where we're fighting because I see that Letty had tried to call him. And the whole day he sees that I'm not myself. And at the end of the day, he comes into my trailer, he says, "What's up? I know you too well. What's going on?" And I didn't want to tell anyone in California. I didn't want anyone to know that I was about to have a baby. But I told him, I said, "I'm going to tell you something that nobody knows. Her water broke, and I'm about to have a baby. And I have to go to the hospital now."
And, you know, when you're growing up in New York with a lot of tough guys, they'll say, oh, whatever you do, don't go in the hospital. Trust me, you don't want to go in the hospital. Leave it alone. Stand in the hallway. Don't go in that delivery room. And I can remember just like yesterday, he said that to me. He said, a lot of tough guys will tell you to wait in the hallway. Don't go in the delivery room. And he said, but Vin, go into that delivery room, be present, and cut that umbilical cord, and it will be the best day of your life. And so I did that, and it was the best day of my life. And so 6 months ago, when I was blessed to be in that same situation, I couldn't help but to remember Paul and his advice. And as I'm cutting the umbilical cord, I'm thinking to myself, it's all because Paul Walker told me to go into the delivery room. And so once it came time to sign the name, I started writing Paul. And then just added I-N-E.
What a lovely story. That's so lovely. Come on, let's hug it out. Come on.
Yeah.
I'll get you all choked up. Let's hug it out.
Great.
I love the movie. I love having the show. The fabulous Vin Diesel, ladies and gentlemen. Vin, thank you so much, sir. It's always a pleasure. I love having you on the show. Still to come on the programme, we've got Smashy and Nighties, all the egos, Harry and Paul. Sir Tom Jones about here, and after the break, Olympic and World Heptathlon champion Jessica Ennis-Hill. Don't go away. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Jonathan Ross Show. We have so much more to come. Next on the show, a remarkable athlete. She thrilled us all by winning gold at the London Olympics, then amazed us even more by winning the heptathlon world title in Beijing just a year after giving birth to a baby boy. Now she's hoping to take Olympic gold again in Rio. Will you please welcome the fabulous Jessica Ennis-Hill, ladies and gentlemen. Wow, Jessica, how lovely to have you here. Thank you so much for coming back on the show.
Oh, thank you for having me.
So, congratulations, world champion again. Did you bring the medal? I love you brought the medal with you this time.
I left it at home.
You left the medal at home?
I know, sorry. Reggie's got it.
Okay.
He's sleeping with it.
Well, in that case, I'm afraid we must draw this interview to an end. You said Reggie's got it. Reggie's your little boy?
Yeah.
OK, so he's what, 12 months, 13 months now?
He's going to be 15 months tomorrow. 15
months?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, now, is that...
That's he's doing the downward dog.
He's doing yoga?
Yeah.
Wow, he's going to be running fast pretty soon. Can he run yet? Do we have hopes for the future with him, do you think?
Well, no pressure, but, yeah, he started walking when he was about 10 months.
Wow,
so
that's early.
He's been on the go for quite a while now, and he's running around and, yeah, jumping off things, and, yeah, he's fearless.
Is he talking much? Has he got many words yet?
He says, like, a few things. He says mama and dada. We've got a dog, Myla, and he says Myla, kind of.
Yeah.
And he started to say hiya, bless you. But she gets terrorised by him, absolutely terrorised. Poor dog.
I don't know if I like the sound of Reggie, I'll be honest with you. OK, but how did you do that? How did you manage to... You have the baby, and that's... I mean, when we had our children, I didn't even do it, the hard work. I was laid up for about 2 years. And then you're 13 months older, you're out there and you win gold again. I mean, how did you motivate yourself? How did you get back into that level of performance?
Oh, I still don't know. It was really hard, and you know, I think every parent knows with their first child, it's life-changing, and you know, your whole world is turned upside down. And I suppose I just always had in my mind that I wanted to get back into training eventually. And you know, as a sports person, your career's pretty much short-lived, so you know, you have to make the most of it and enjoy every moment of your career. And yeah, I just felt like I really wanted to get back to it.
You might enjoy seeing this again, I hope so. This is Beijing from August. This is kind of what we have to look forward to next year at the Olympics. This is Jessica in action. Enjoy this.
Jessica Ennis-Hill then, off and running in her challenge in this heptathlon. Oh, yes. That's exactly what she would have wanted.
But isn't she flying now?
That's a big jump. Oh, she's utterly brilliant, isn't she?
And now she comes back to storm past the Canadian to win her second world title. Jessica Ennis-Hill is back on top of the world.
It must be fun watching that back, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. It's amazing feeling.
Did you ever doubt that you would get back to that level again?
Yeah, oh, I definitely doubted. You know, after I had Reggie and, you know, your body completely changes. As you know, Jonathan, you know, having children. And...
Well, I still haven't got my figure completely back, I'll be honest with you. So when you know Andy's looking after him, do you trust Andy completely to do all that, your husband Andy? Or are you still a bit controlling? Do you doubt that he's going to be as on it as you are?
I do trust him. I absolutely trust him. He's not here. He probably won't watch. No. I do trust him. He's amazing. He's such a fantastic dad. But I am quite controlling.
Yeah.
And I do like to leave notes. And, you know, obviously being away in Beijing for 2 weeks was a really long time to be away from him. I'd never been away from him for that amount of time. So, I left a note on the fridge saying, you know, when he should eat, options of what he should eat, and when he should have his dinner, and what time he should sleep.
So you left absolutely nothing to chance? OK. But this is kind of, I imagine, quite a different upbringing to one you had. I know you had loving parents, but your dad, I read somewhere that he used to eat kippers all the time.
Oh, yeah.
And didn't you not they used to feed you, or you wanted to eat liquidised tripe?
No, I didn't want to eat it.
So they used to give you tripe to eat?
So my parents, when I think I was about 9, 10 months, my dad ate tripe. My mum says she's never tried it and never will because it's disgusting, but she'd feed me liquidised tripe with milk.
With milk?
Yeah. Cruel. Like, it's just cruel.
Why was she doing that?
I don't know. So she said I loved it, and that's why I'm so fast, apparently. I'm not sure. Have you tried it?
What do you think? Have you ever met another human being who's actually tried it?
No.
Why do you even ask that question?
It's like, have you smelt it?
No, I haven't even smelled it. I didn't even know it existed until you started talking about it.
And Reggie does not have it.
Well, I'm not surprised. It's because you like your child.
My mum is here somewhere. So...
Well, she should come down and apologise to you. So, listen, you're 2 times world champion. What a great feeling. And as I understand, maybe you should be 3 times world champion.
Yeah, well, obviously, there's been a bit of negativity in the press recently about drug taking in sport, and a report discovered about some of the Russian athletes, and a heptathlete, Tatiana Chinova, who I've competed with a few times. She was banned for 2 years, but no one really knew about it, and then she qualified for the World Championships in 2011, and she won that year.
You wouldn't know from looking at her that she was enhanced in any way. I mean, look at the size of her. I should imagine knowing that's behind you makes you run even faster, doesn't it? Well, although you know, Jessica, there's a Russian talk show now where she's on it and she's going, well, I hear that Jessica used to have a liquidized tripe and milk. It kind of evens out. So she has admitted, or has been found definitely guilty of using substances, banned substances, enhancement drugs.
So essentially, she shouldn't have qualified for the World Championships.
So therefore,
she shouldn't be there.
You should have that gold as well.
Well, that's the argument, yeah. And it's something that you can't... You know, obviously I am frustrated and, you know, I love that medal. It was... That moment crossing the line was, you know, a really heartbreaking moment because I'd trained so hard and I'd finished second and I really felt that I was in shape to win. So it was difficult, but, you know, all I can do is kind of, you know, put my appeal in and see what happens.
So how are you feeling about the Olympics next year? Are you feeling confident about going into it?
Yeah, I think I'm excited. You know, it will hopefully, if I get there, fingers crossed, it will be my last Olympics. So I want to enjoy it. I just want it to be, you know, one of those moments where I kind of take in everything. I don't want to get too stressed and caught up in everything. I want my family to be there. I want Reggie to be part of it all, and yeah, I want to enjoy it.
Is Reggie part of the reason why you decided that you don't want to carry on after Rio, or is there a chance you will reconsider?
Yeah, I think that obviously the London World Championships are in 2017, so that would be a nice opportunity. But I'm touching 30 now. I'm 30 in January, and I've had a great career, and it'd be great to end on a high.
Yeah. Well, I'm 35 now, and I found out that. 39, 42.
I would say 35.
35.
You've got a fresh face.
Yeah, you know why, it's the steroids. How lovely to have you here again. You're just such an inspiration to so many of us, and it's such a thrill seeing you perform and work for your country like that. I'm so delighted you came back on. Continue success. I can't wait for you to bring home gold next year as well. Ladies and gentlemen, Jessica Ennis-Hill. OK, still to come after the break, we'll have Harry and Paul, and Sir Tom Jones will be joining us. We'll be chatting and performing live in the studio. I'll see you after the break. Don't go away. Welcome back. Thank you very much to the Jonathan Ross Show. Let's get my next guest out. He is a man who has been hypnotising us with his hips and mesmerising us with his music for over 50 years. It is the legendary Sir Tom Jones, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah. Tom Jones from the greatest singer. Great to see you, Tom Jones. All right. Come along here. Jessica, if you shut along and Tom can go there. Jessica, Tom. Tom, you take pole position. You come over here, Tom. Okay. Yeah, you sit over there. That's good. Wow, great to see you, Tom.
Thank you.
You look great. Congratulations, 50 years in show business.
Quite right.
That is unbelievable. That is quite an achievement, isn't it? Still going strong, still in demand, still, you know, the new album, which we'll get to in a minute, fabulous. Let's talk, let's get this out of the way first. The controversy around The Voice.
Yep.
1 minute you're on there.
Right.
Next minute you're gone. And they didn't tell you in the nicest of ways.
No. Mark, my son, you know,
Who manages you?
who manages me, yes, he got the call. And I was with him at the time. And Mark said, and I saw something was up. So I said, what's the matter? And he said, well, I may as well tell you now. He said, they're not renewing your contract on The Voice. He said, how do you feel about that? I said, I couldn't give up. You know,
okay.
I mean, you know, the first thing you think of when somebody says you can't do something, you say, well, hey, all right.
Were you angry, though? Was that first reaction?
No. I just, I would have liked to have known a bit earlier, because my agent is always saying, you know, are you doing The Voice? What are we doing? And they always leave it at the last minute. They always did, every year. And then all of a sudden, we penciled it in, you know, thinking that we were going to do it again.
Of course, because no one had told you weren't, and you were a big part of the show.
Right. Well, I thought so, and I really enjoyed doing it, because I like to help new singers if I can. I've always felt that way.
Well, that came through.
So I told my wife, you know, I called my wife, because I do it, because she's in LA, and I'm here. She said to me, so you're not doing The Voice then? I said, well, I don't have much of a choice. And she said, well, what do you mean? I said, well, I've been replaced. She said, really? Yeah. And I said, yeah. She said, by who? I said, by Boy George. And she said, I hope he didn't go off, did you know, about Boy George? I said, of course not. I said, I even said how much I liked his records. And she said, well, you didn't have to go that far. So, that's the truth.
Oh, dear. So now that is, of course, that's Linda, your wife, and you've been in the news in the last week or 10 days because there's a quote from you from your book, and Tom has a book out. Fantastic read, ladies and gentlemen. Genuinely, Tom Jones, Over the Top and Back, the autobiography. It's out now, and you can see you get your money's worth right there. But it's a great read, because you're kind of unfiltered. You tell it like it is, or how you feel it is. And you were speaking about your wife in here, and the quote that was picked up in the newspapers, which I have here, we're in an interview where it was, Linda is the love of my life, and she still is, even though she doesn't look like she did. I don't look like I did either, you said, but I try my best. She's lost her spark. But that isn't exactly what you said, is that right?
No. When I was asked about Linda, you know, and we've been together all this time...
Well, she was your first love, wasn't she?
Exactly, yeah. Teenage, you know, we fell in love as teenagers, not just lust, because a lot of teenagers fall in lust, as you would know. Oh. But we We fell in lust as well, but we fell in love, you know, and we've been in love all this time.
I love the story in the book, but the kind of, I guess, the controversy, or certainly the interest that has been stirred up, is the fact that some people thought that was a dismissive comment, and you didn't say that. You said, what you believe I said was, Linda feels she's lost her spark.
Yes.
And that's a different thing, of course.
Exactly. That's what I said. Yeah. You know, in all good faith.
And how do you...
But it's twisted. They take a part of a sentence, so you can't say, well, I didn't say that, but it's taken out of context. I mean, there's a lot of things in this book. If you take it... You know, if you just take one part of it and say, he said this in the book, if it's out of context, it's going to sound terrible.
Well, I'm going to do that in a minute. But, Jessica, well, of course, but you've had your fair share, of course. You've been involved in various spats on Twitter and the newspapers as well, and it's a different world somewhat. I don't know how involved in kind of like social networks you are, Tom, but it's you have to be very cautious these days, don't you? What you say and how you say it.
Yeah, definitely. I think you have to always be aware of what you say, and unfortunately, you know, you're going to upset someone with whatever you say, and it's just about being careful. And it's something that I not worry, but I do think about now having my son, because I think, you know, what is social media going to be like when he's a teenager, and it's so different now, and yeah, I wonder if it'll do a complete U-turn and go back the other way, but yeah, it's very different now.
I mean, it's interesting because you're saying that in the book, because people know or think they know a lot about your life.
Yeah.
And your marriage to some eyes would seem unconventional.
Right.
Because Linda stayed in Las Vegas or Los Angeles while you were travelling the world, and often... and you were sometimes involved with other people, weren't you?
Well...
So that's a yes. So... and many people find that, but at the same time, it's quite clear to me reading this that she was the person you have always loved and continue to love.
Of course. Yeah, yeah. And she beat me up one night, you know, because a thing came out in the newspaper, and I think she was more bothered because it was in the press.
So she
if it had just been between us, you know, and we could have dealt with it much easier.
OK, so let me ask you this question very frankly. Did you have a deal? Did you ever say to her, look, this is what I'm doing, but I love you?
No. No. She would chin me if I tried to say that. So you would do it? She did.
When she found out?
When she found out about this one thing, you know, I stood there and I said, OK.
But, Tom, you say this one thing.
Well, I said she found out about this.
I know. What I'm asking about is the other things that she didn't find out about. I'm not asking you to go into details, because you don't go into details here, which I understand and I respect that. But at the same time, you were this incredible, lusty, magnetic, kind of attractive, very masculine singer. Still are.
Thank you.
Boom, the big voice, boom, the big movements on stage. Obviously, a lot of female attention, and you weren't a man who was not going to respond to that.
No. you won't let it go. You won't let it go. Well, see, this book is about important things in my life.
But I'm curious about the things that...
Because the other stuff...
Say the book's there. All right. There's this little area of the book over here that I didn't quite find out.
No, let me tell you something. Let me explain something to you. Kirk Douglas did a Johnny Carson show, and he had a great book out, right?
It was called The Ragman's Son.
The Ragman's Son.
A great book.
A great book. But Johnny Carson, like you now, would not leave him alone with, yes, we know all about that, Kirk, you know, but what about Lana Turner? Did you, you know... And he said, John, this is about, you know, a rags to riches story, which is fascinating. Yeah. Without that. And I feel the same way. Yeah. So, you know, the people at Penguin, I said, look, and he said, no, nobody's going to say that. Nobody. I said, yeah, but I got to go on the Jonathan Ross show. Yeah. And I've known Jonathan a long time. And
oh, don't try that. Don't try and get out of that.
It's a fact. I'm only telling the truth.
So here's the thing. I've got a bone to pick with you.
OK.
Quite a major bone. We've known each other for coming up for 30 years now.
Yep.
I've just always been an adoring fan of your talent. When I was a kid, I had the What's New Pussycat soundtrack album. Sometimes, Tom, I used to take a day off school just so I could listen to you sing.
Is that right?
Yes. Now, then I get my own talk show, and there's a chance to have Tom Jones on. And I remember we really want you on, and some of the people I work with in the office said, oh, Tom Jones is this Vegas performer. I said, no, he's one of the greatest singers we've ever had. He's our Elvis. He's as good as Elvis. His songs are incredible. And we got you to come on the show.
Yes.
And I now know from reading the book that you were a little wary as well about whether or not we were going to be treating you as a joke or whether we actually respected and liked what you did.
Yeah, and I had a ballad out called A Boy From Nowhere. Yeah. And you said, no, it's not a plug show.
We didn't want you to do that.
And then you said, what else are you doing?
Yes.
And I said, Kiss.
And we went, hold the phone. He does Kiss, the Prince song. We said to you, you mean the Prince song?
Yeah.
And you went, what other Kiss is there?
Exactly.
OK? So we got you to do it on the show. And it kind of changed things for you, didn't it?
Well, yes, it brought me back into top 40 radio again, in Great Britain especially.
Yeah, OK. And
which,
you know how
which
many...
was very important to me.
And you know how many pages I get in this gigantic book, ladies and gentlemen? 2 bloody pages.
Well, that's not bad, is it? 2
Well,
pages?
it's not great. I'll be honest, I'm genuinely quite upset.
No.
Yes, why don't you write a bit more about all the good times we had?
Well, I can't go into... I said I wasn't going to go into all that
OK,
stuff.
so anyway... Well, thank you, I appreciate that. I understand. No, I understand.
Yes.
All right, would you like to see Tom? This is 1987 when he came on my talk show. Would you like to see him back there? Him doing Kiss, and it's a very different looking Tom because you hadn't reinvented yourself.
What about you?
Well, I know. I'd like to apologise in advance. Trigger warning, there's some shocking material in this footage. OK, so this is Tom doing a bit of It's Not Unusual.
Yes.
30 years ago.
It's not unusual to go out at any time. It's such a climb. If you see I feel loved by anyone, it's not unusual. It happens every day.
Those are the days, Tom.
Yes.
You know, oh dear. You know what, you can see, I think, how just excited I was over him. I didn't come down from that high for about a week, and I remember afterwards genuinely thinking, maybe he'll call, maybe we'll do a record together. OK, you're going to sing for us this evening?
Yep.
OK. And the Long Lost Suitcase is the album.
The album.
What's the song you're doing this evening from the album?
Take My Love.
A beautiful love song.
Well, it's an up-tempo song because it reminds me of the time when my wife and myself, when we were teenagers, we used to go dancing, you see, a lot in, you know, in the dance halls in South Wales. So that's the kind of stuff we would jive to. And we still have a jive now. You know.
I like the fact that, you know what is so beautiful is that you're, you know, obviously, like all relationships and all people in life, you go through periods, you've been through patches.
Yeah.
This has drawn focus on some of those things, maybe in an unwelcome way perhaps at times. But still, I know that you're talking about her and you think about her, she is the person you talk about as the person you love the most.
Of course.
When you sing a song like that, is it her you're thinking of?
Yeah. A lot of the songs that I do, you know, the love songs that I do, of course, is Linda is there. And, you know, when yes, she is the one. I mean, I don't want to go on about it, but, you know, she wasn't well a while ago, and she got close to, you know, we didn't know whether she was going to make it or not. And I said to Mark, and it's in the book, I said, if your mother doesn't make it, I don't know whether I can sing. Because, you know, a lot of the songs that I do, I think of her when I do it. So it would be hard if she wasn't there to be able to sing.
It's a lovely love story right at the heart of this book. It's a very funny book, some great photographs, some great stories as well. And Tom's going to sing for us this evening. Ladies and gentlemen, join me in saying thank you again to the legendary Sir Tom Jones. Thank you. Tom, great stuff, thank you. I can't wait to hear you later on. Don't go away, because after the break there will be music from Sir Tom Jones, and we'll be chatting to Harry Enfield and Paul Whitehouse. So join me after the break. Welcome back to the show, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get my final guests up. You saw them earlier as Smashy and Nicey. Well, here they are as two of their far less successful characters. Please welcome the British comedy legends that are Harry Enfield and Paul Whitehouse. Come on. Don't be shy. Oh, God. Oh, dear. Oh, Lord, are you all right? Oh, all right, you're getting on.
How name's going again?
Come and grab a seat, Harry. It's great to have you here.
Yeah, it's lovely to be in your
Great
living
to
room.
be here.
Well, you know, Tom, I started by talking to Sir Tom and said 50 years in show business, but combined, the two of you, that's another 50 years right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if
Was
we
it-
had you, you know...
75.
75, yeah.
We could keep adding it all night.
Yeah, I love maths, don't you?
So this is exciting news. You're on tour together, and this is the first time you've toured together.
Yeah.
Starts October 25th.
Modestly
Yeah.
with legend.
It starts next Friday in Brighton, which I think will be great. I might come down to the Brighton one, 'cause my daughter
good.
lives there, and I think I'll come down and
6
see you
days'
there.
time.
OK, yeah, it's going to be fun.
Yeah.
So we will get the chance then to see some of the characters you've created together.
Yeah.
Because some of them, even though one of you went on, like, loads of money, was kind of a dual creation. And Stavros was kind of the two of you, wasn't it? Is that
Yeah,
right?
yeah. And they're both coming back for the tour.
And are you doing them as they were, or are you doing them as they would be today?
Well, as they would be today, in a way, for those two. Stavros looks rather handsome. He's got silver hair now and a thing. He looks quite good. But he's still in Bethnal Green, but he's got his shop's a bit posher now.
And presumably his English is about the same level it was back then.
Obviously, yeah.
So what would Stavros say about the world today? What kind of things is Stavros observing?
He's saying he wants to welcome all the people who come from all the different parts of the world, isn't he, where there's terrible political problems, like Iraq and Syria and Scotland.
You know that!
What about Loads of Money? Now, Loads of Money was... Actually, when you look back, sort of a controversial character. At the time, we said, oh, this is funny. But you look back at it, I mean, it was genuinely satirical.
Yeah, and he's sort of back because over the last 10 years, you know, during the recession and everything, the poor have got 57% poorer and the rich 64% richer.
It's maths again.
Yeah, it is. And, of course, Loads of Money thinks this is brilliant, you know,
So Loads of Money still has money, or has he lost his money?
He's got so much money now.
He's practically a Russian now, isn't he? Yeah.
He's in danger of becoming a
OK, I'm going to ask you to give us a burst of Loads of Money.
What are you?
Yeah.
Shut your mouth and look at my wad.
You see, it still works, though. It still hits the target. All right. Are you at all worried or nervous about going to certain parts of the country?
Yeah, probably Liverpool, because we're both playing the Scousers.
All right,
kid.
Come, Joe.
And obviously in Liverpool, neither of us are Scousers.
Really, huh? That's come as a surprise to me.
But, in fact, you know, the only forgiving thing maybe I'll get is my great-great-great-great-grandfather wrote the first history of Liverpool ever.
He did, didn't he?
He did, yes.
Okay. So you think that will give you a free pass in Liverpool?
So, yeah.
I don't know
He's
how many
like
of the Scousers
father
will
of
be...
the really.
You are?
Yeah.
History. Did your great-great-great-grandfather write the first history of Liverpool?
So
I don't know that.
So that's like Vim Diesel doing English, isn't it?
He's not Vim Diesel, he's Vim. You weren't calling him Vim all night, were you, backstage?
We're calling Dim Diesel.
You can't say that, man. All right, you've done Michael Caine first. Your Michael Caine, I think, is the best Michael Caine.
Oh, you're nice.
I think it is. But do you do other real people? Are you going to do... Do you do Tony Blair? Are you going to do Jeremy Corbyn? Are you going to do David Cameron?
No.
Are we going to do our characters?
Yeah, no, we're doing our characters. Okay. No, we're not doing any impressions, I don't think,
so.
are we?
No, only Michael Caine.
Oh, I do a bit of John Bishop.
I am a nosy neighbour.
So you slip a little bit at him.
He pops up a lot, yeah.
Right.
He's observing people from various religious denominations eating things they shouldn't be eating. Mr. and Mrs. Hymenstein, and they was eating toast, eggs, and wait for it, bacon! Bleeding back bacon, mine! Not even streaky!
I think my favourite thing in recent years you did, and I don't know how many people saw this, is when you did Dragon's Den.
Oh, we're doing that live.
Yeah, we're going to try and do that live. It's quite difficult.
Was my
yeah.
OK, now, so there is...
I met Deborah Meaden.
Yeah.
She's really nice. She came up to me at this thing and said, my husband saw that and he said, you're exactly like me, but you've got better legs than me.
OK. What the face you do is quite remarkable. How do you achieve that with your face? Can you take your glass off and show me how? What do you do? This is the Deborah Meaden face.
Just... It's not true, though, is it? She's
It's
lovely,
not true.
actually.
She is lovely.
Yeah.
We're going to try and do all the dragons, and that's part of...
Yeah.
It's a bit of panto, really, because we've got to play six
We've got to play
characters
all the
and
dragons
a little bit of Evan
and
Davis.
the contestants and Evan Davis all at once. So,
So when you met Deborah Meaden, and when I don't know if you have met Evan Davis.
Yeah, he's not very happy.
Yeah. I mean, what do you say? You must dread the moment you think, oh no, they are going to mention it. What are they going to say?
well, she was very nice to me, as I said.
But when you're meeting Evan, how are you going to explain yourself to him?
Well, I did see him, bumped into him somewhere near the BBC, and I went, hi, Evan, you all right? Thinking he'd go, yeah, love your impersonation. But he didn't. No, he wasn't very happy.
In fact, you're in the show.
Yeah.
Am I?
Yeah,
I
you
didn't
are.
know that.
Yeah.
Oh, you mean
No,
what, on film?
Yeah, we've got you on film introducing Kevin the Teenager.
From way back when?
Yeah, from way back when.
When did that happen?
I'm not going to tell you. You have to come and see it.
Oh.
It's good, though.
I don't remember that.
Yeah, no, and we didn't ask your permission.
No, I know.
Oh, no, we shouldn't have mentioned it.
You know what? Whatever you're doing, you can have it. I love seeing you guys work. I've always been fans. I must admit, I'm surprised your careers have lasted this long, but I'm delighted. I think you could say the same about me very easily. It's great to have you here. The tour starts, ladies and gentlemen, 23rd of October. It's called Legends. You would be wise to catch them while you can. It's Paul Enfield and Harry Whitehouse, ladies and gentlemen. I like doing that. OK. Thank you to all my guests tonight, of course. Thank you to Dean, Jessica and Tom. He'll be back in a minute. Next week on the show, I'll be joined by Martin Clunes, Darcy Buss will be here, Tiny Temper and Nick Frost, and we have music from the platinum-selling John Newman. But now, we take my love. I want to give it. It is the one, the only, Mr. Tom Jones.
Take my love, I wanna give it all to you. And you can take my lips, take my arms too. My love is your love, darling, no one else will do. Take my hand, I need you when the day is through. Why don't you take my dreams and make them all come true? My love is your love, and darling, no one else will do. Yes, I really love you. I believe that you love me too. So, darling, believe in me. For you know my love is true. Take my heart and take my very soul. Why don't you take my arms, yes, of which I have no control. My love, my soul, never let it run cold. I believe that you love me too. So, darling, believe in me. For you know my love is true. Take my heart and take my very soul. Why don't you take my arms, yes, of which I have no control. My love is your love. Never let it run cold. My heart, my love, my soul, never let it run cold. Yes, my love is your love. Never let it run cold.
And Jonathan's back next Saturday at 10:25. And if you missed his exclusive look at the new Bond film, head to ITV Player where it's available to watch now. Here tomorrow, who'll make it to Judges' Houses, all new X Factors at 7. Then Love is in the Air at the Big House, Downton Abbey is at 9. Next up, it's the news.